Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today in this cryptocurrency webinar. Thank you for being with us. I know some other folks may be joining in a little bit later, so we get started now. Some housekeeping details. This webinar is being recorded. So afterwards, you are going to be receiving the recording so you can share it with friends, families, other business owners that you know that may have interest in this topic. So I do appreciate if you can mute yourself, and then at the end, we are going to be leaving some minutes for a Q&A session, and there you can unmute and ask questions. So today, Hanko will be sharing with us what blockchain and cryptocurrency are, what and why do we need to know about them, who made money and who lost money, and of course, some practical examples of technology and investment that we all would like to know how to make money. Beyond that, who made money list. So I would like to introduce you to Hanko. Hanko is a global investor with more than 3 decades of experience in technology, venture capital, and commercial real estate. He has successfully founded, invested in, and operated multiple companies, including high-tech innovation such as blockchain, crypto, AI, and e-commerce. His investment company, USACO Group, has been in business for 3 decades and currently have offices in the US and South Korean market. Hank also serves on the board of various economic development organizations such as South Korean Presidential Advisory Council, Asian American Chamber of Commerce, and also serves as a faculty at Midwest University. So thank you so much, Hanko, for being with us today, sharing your expertise and your knowledge on these topics. We are all very excited to learn more about it. And I pass you then the microphone, and it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Appreciate it. Yeah, my name is Hanko. It's always a pleasure to be with Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So I think Maria didn't tell you, but I want to tell everyone about Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. They're one of the very prominent active Chamber of Commerce actually it's nationwide. So I have a great respect and thanks for the opportunity. I'm going to share, I prepared some PowerPoint. I'm going to share my screen. So if you give me a second. All right, once I share, I want to run it on the presentation mode. See if it looks good to you or not. Could you tell me, Maria, if it looks good or not?
Yes, it looks good to me.
Perfect, good. Alrighty, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start. As Maria explained, today's topic is crypto and blockchain global trend and what the future holds for us. And subtopics are, there are several subtopics. I'm going to get into details in a few minutes here. But anyway, again, like I said, like Maria and I explained, today's program is hosted by Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I president CEO of a company called USACO Group. It's an international investment company. So, like again, I'm feel privileged to be here. Alrighty, so first of all, I want to start with disclaimer. Okay, so this is not an investment advice, okay? So I'm going to go over multiple cryptocurrencies from Bitcoin to Ethereum, all kinds. We're not trying to sell anything. We're not soliciting any investment. So I just want to be clear on that one. Also, secondly, all rights and privileges, any of this content and program belong to USACO Group, okay? So of course, you can watch this later, but in production or distribution sale should be consented by USACO Group ahead of time. Okay, so what the USACO Group do? What do we do? We're an international venture capital company, and we have what's unique about it is that we have a strong footing in global investment and technology network. So one of them is actually in South Korea. We have actually official global partnership with the South Korean government. So what it means is that we closely work with Seoul Business Agency, Seoul being the capital city of South Korea. And they have a startup hub called Seoul Startup Hub, which we have an office there actually, and then along with the multiple other governmental organizations and universities like KAIST at the bottom, and then Sookmyung University. They're all top universities in South Korea. And in the blockchain space alone, we closely work with the organization called IBA, International Blockchain Association. This is a USA nonprofit organization to promote the blockchain, and then also Blockchain Mediation Association. This is based out of Korea, South Korea actually, and then also Blockchain Today, which is based out of US and South Korea, and it's a media and investment company. Okay, so now geographically, we have a high-tech, we're in high-tech innovation investment space, okay? So we have an office in, of course, St. Louis, California, and Texas, as well as Seoul, South Korea, as I explained. So we actually do maintain an office, 2 offices in South Korea. Okay, well, this is me, but I think Maria went over that. I'm gonna skip that. So let's dive right into it. So the current global crypto trend. So let's look at that in a big picture, okay? So if you look at the market cap for the past 7 years, it's grew from $5.2 billion to $1.7 trillion for top 100 coins, okay? So if you do the math, it's about 327 buy, okay? So just for the past 7 years, if you invest this correctly, I think there's a lot of success stories. But at the same time, it's a very volatile market, so you can lose money pretty quickly as well, okay? So it's a popular investment tool, like product. It's actually 4th largest. So cryptocurrency is 4th largest. This is after stock, mutual fund, and then bond, okay? And also, it's worth to note that the cryptocurrency price does not move based on sentiment alone, okay? It has a lot to do with sentiment, but it's not just doesn't move sentiment alone, right? And also, as I explained, it's a very highly volatile industry, so you have to buckle up, okay? If you're new at this, you really should buckle up, meaning that one can lose money pretty quickly, or can make money pretty quickly, okay? I'll give you some examples of that later on, okay? Actual examples. All right, so I'm gonna share one more slide about the market. So you all heard about Bitcoin and Ethereum and then altcoin, okay? So Bitcoin, everybody knows right here, Bitcoin, and the Ethereum right here, Bitcoin, Ethereum, these 2 top coins. And then altcoin is rest of it. So if you look at the volume or trading, being the blue, the Bitcoin, the 100%, Ethereum is about anywhere between half to probably 70% sometimes, and altcoin is following right behind. Okay. So this is the relative market shares. Okay, so let's talk about blockchain cryptocurrency. And before I want to tell you, if you're not sure what the blockchain and cryptocurrency and how can you distinguish between those two, blockchain is the base technology, right? And the cryptocurrency is part of the application on blockchain. You can look at it this way. When you have a Samsung Android phone, you have Android operating system, right? And you have a calendar, you have a WhatsApp, you have a Facebook, that's app on the top of the Android operating system, right? So same thing, blockchain is almost like an operating system, but cryptocurrency, one of the applications. But everybody knows cryptocurrency. Everybody hears about cryptocurrency before blockchain because there's a lot of money made and lost in cryptocurrency space, okay? So that's a relationship between 2 terminology, blockchain and cryptocurrency, okay? All right, so I threw out a big name here, Satoshi Nakamoto in big blue. Well, if you are paid attention to Bitcoin, everybody knows his name. It's Bitcoin was launched about 10 years ago, but Satoshi Nakamoto is it's pseudonym. Nobody actually knows exactly who he is. He came up with this name. Somebody came up with this name and invented Bitcoin. He wrote a white paper on it under this name, okay? So till this day, there are a lot of theories who is actual Satoshi Nakamoto is, but we don't know exactly yet, okay? And he's the one who planned and started the first blockchain database. So he's the one. Unfortunately, we don't know, but it's in a way, it's a fortunate too. In a way, I'll get into that later, but that is what the value of this name in the industry. Okay, so now what are blockchain and cryptocurrency? What actually are they? So blockchain is, as I explained, is technology, baseline technology, right? So it's basically, you can look at it this way, a system of recording information in chained blocks, okay? So chained blocks, that's why I call it blockchain. It is based on a digital ledger of transactions. I'll get to you a little more details later with some diagrams. But there are multiple advantages and values. First of all, is immutability, okay? It provides security. And second was transparency. And third is trust chain. And fourth is a decentralized network. So no central control. And then the cryptocurrency is part of blockchain application, as I explained. So I'm going to give you an example of immutability. Okay, so I like this example. I like to explain this way because it's very simple. So let's say John Doe has a bank account with the Bank of America. Okay, this is just a in hypothetical situation here. Okay, so John Doe has an account with Bank of America. He had $100 deposit. Okay, technically, except John Doe and Bank of America, nobody knows how much of a deposit he's got in there, right? It sounds good, right? But at the same time, if somebody is successfully hack Bank of America's system, decide to add 2 more zeros for John, suddenly his deposit value went to $10,000 from 100, right? It's in theory, it's possible. So there's always a possibility that vulnerability. There's no perfect system, so there's always vulnerability for anything. Okay. So in a way, current banking system is not 100% bulletproof, meaning that it's not really 100% immutability, okay? On the other hand, blockchain technology provides immutability in a very unique way. So for example, if John Doe has $100 worth of asset in his wallet, electronic wallet, only say mobile phone, okay? Nobody can actually change the fact that he owns $100 value of it. Nobody, okay? Here's why. So I mentioned the digital ledger. So digital ledger means that the transaction of record are distributed across the multiple computers. We call it nodes or other terminology there too. But so let's say in other words, there's say 50,000 computers all already know that John has $100 worth of asset in his wallet. Technically, you have to hack all 50,000 computers and change it all at the same time, down to same second. It's impossible. Okay, so that provides the security in a way, but it comes with a dark side, meaning that John Doe has to safeguard his device, meaning that his mobile phone. So one can hack into John Doe's phone and steal his asset. It happened many times, right? So that part is security, device security, and on John's part. But baseline of the blockchain technology, it's immutable. Okay, so that's actually what it means, right? So and also that provides the transparency along with other stuff, right? All right. So DLT, distributed ledger technology. I mentioned the distributed ledger, right? Digital distributed ledger. So here's some properties. With the time, I'm not going to go into every single details. We can actually talk about this probably 6 hours, and I still have something to tell you about, but I'm going to make it fit in probably less than an hour here. So I'm going to go a little faster. So first of all, it's programmable. So meaning that the blockchain is programmable technology. Okay, so there's a term called smart contract. Okay, this is actually what a lot of industry are counting on. Okay, and then also secure, I told you about. That's also another one is anonymous. So identity of participant is either anonymous or pseudonyms. Okay, so in other words, unless John Doe tells that I have $100 in my wallet, it's hard to figure out he's got $100. Okay. And then also another one is distributed. Is, all network participants have a copy of ledger for complete transparency. This is what I told you about earlier. So all the records are distributed across the multiple nodes. So everybody, in order for one bad guy to hack and change the value of John's asset value, he have to do 50,000 nodes at the same time, which is not possible. Okay? So that goes all together. Okay. And also, it provides the timestamp. So transaction is recorded with exact timestamp, so they can go back. So as much as people that the cryptocurrency is hard to control, but it is a very accurate based on technology. Okay, so all right. Okay, so next slide. All right, excuse me. Here we go. So why do you call blockchain? Right, I'm going to give you a quick simple example of blockchain, how blocks get created, transactions happen here. Okay, so first, a transaction is requested, authenticated, and then the block is created, right? The block, okay, block right here, and then the one next the steps down the road is the important step is that node. Remember, I keep telling you the nodes. It's a computer basically. Nodes validate the transaction. Okay, but what's important here happening is that it's not written on the slide here, but is that when nodes validate transaction, they don't do it for free. Okay, they get a reward. So the reward is that the reward received the reward a proof of work, which typically cryptocurrency, such as like Bitcoin, Ethereum. Okay, so now that block gets added to the chain, and then transaction complete. Okay, so this is blockchain transaction in a nutshell. Okay, now then what does blockchain look like structure-wise and design? Let's look at closely. There is a original block or genesis block, which is green at the bottom. And then the main chain is black, okay? So whenever there is a transaction happen, their block gets added to at the end, okay? From one at a time, right? But then how it gets a block, and there's not one computer creating a block. There's a competition, by the way. Okay, so there's multiple nodes doing transaction, adding a block to the end. So there is always, we call it orphan blocks, the blocks that did not get adopted, meaning it's not get recognized. So that's a purple. So that's orphan block. Okay, so this means that blockchain structure is very unique in a way that at least 51% of nodes has to vote it that, okay, your block is the validated first and you're valid. So therefore you get to edit the chain. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to talk a little more global trend and then in the market trend. So the giant global tech companies are all spending a lot of time and focusing on blockchain technology already. Okay. So for example, IBM, they have something called the Hyperledger Fabric. It's their blockchain platform. And their supply chain, it's actually, they're heavily used for supply chain service. So their product called the TradeLens, and IBM holds more than 100 intellectual property in blockchain alone already, okay? So blockchain is in the mainstream already, okay? AMD, as you know, is another large chip company competing with the actual IBM. They're actually rendering platform and gaming industry, okay? And AWS, which is Amazon. So their blockchain platform using actually IBM's Hyperledger Fabric and then Ethereum. And Intel, also open source, the platform called the Sawtooth, okay? They developed this a while ago and a lot of companies are already using it. And Google, of course, they're not gonna get left behind. So they have a multiple crypto tool development investments such as the Beam, so which is payment processing, along with the other stuff. All right. Now, the financial investment in companies that using blockchain crypto technology, I'll give you more example of that. So Coinbase, as you know, so Coinbase is a strictly cryptocurrency trading platform. If you have some trading experience, I'm sure you heard about it, so already have an account with them, okay? Coinbase is almost, you can look at it like a stock exchange, okay? New York Stock Exchange or something, okay? Even though it's not regulated as much at all, okay? Another company, Citigroup, Citibank, which is part of Citigroup, they invest in blockchain heavily. A company called DAH, Exani, Settle, R3, they're all part of their investment portfolio, okay? And the JP Morgan investment world, they're already doing something. So their platform called Quorum, based on Ethereum, and they also have own cryptocurrency coin called the JPM coin, okay? And MetLife, insurance company, as you know, they actually invested in Bitana payment system. Also, they invested in Lumen Lab incubator. So they're not only investing for their use, but eventually try to promote the blockchain industry as well by investing in these incubators. Okay, and our own NASDAQ, stock industry also paying attention. So they have something called e-voting. It actually gets sold it to South Africa, and then also they're collaborating with the Swedish market as well. Okay, and Northern Trust Chicago investment company, they're also closely working with the Australian Stock Exchange for this blockchain technology. And then the World Bank's collaboration, they collaborate about $80 million bonds on Ethereum based. So as you can see, all the big names are already doing something in blockchain. All right, so now let's talk a little about global cryptocurrency trend here. I already told you about this stuff, so I'm not going to mention it again. But one thing I will note is that, again, it's a very highly volatile market. Okay, so it is something to be noted in case you try to get into this market here. Okay, so one thing I noticed at the bottom is that a couple of weeks ago, the French minister, France always try to stay ahead of the game as well, right? So he publicly announced that he want France, especially Paris, to be a global hub for cryptocurrency in Europe. Okay, so he already announced that he's going to compete with the other countries in Europe and globally. He want to be the country France. They want to be the hub of the global competition. Okay, so now let's talk about who made money, who lost money. Okay, I'm going to just tell you quickly. So Bitcoin, I told you who I started this, but in 2009, Bitcoin obviously was $0. Okay, but at one point in time in 2021, it was valued at more than $20,000. And today, I think it's about $20,000 range, I believe. So you can see the product fluctuates a lot. Okay, so I personally paid attention to Bitcoin, not because as an investment, but because of technology. I was fascinated by the technology, Bitcoin. And blockchain. So I paid attention in around 2010, 11-ish, which was priced really low, actually, yeah. But anyway, also Ethereum started at 2015, it was $0. At one point in time, 2021, it was actually about more than $4,500. Okay, and today it's a lot lower than that, but I'll let you look at yourself there. Okay, so the one thing noted that the name here is Vitalik Buterin right here in the picture. So he, along with a few other people, invented the Ethereum platform, and then they're the ones who actually made this happen. So Ethereum is, you can look at it this way: if it's a precious metal, Bitcoin is like gold, Ethereum is like silver. Okay, you can see the price wise. Also, I shared with the market share as well in our earlier slide. And there's another one called XRP. It's XRP is the name of coin based on Ripple network, and they're basically facilitating secure and fast and low cost transactions. Okay, but however, they are in severe litigation with the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, which is U.S. government. Okay, so this legal battle is going on for a while. Depending on the legal battle, the XRP price will go up or go down. Okay, so as you can tell, there's a lot of factors in cryptocurrency space in going right now. Okay, there is something called Dogecoin as well. By the way, those tickers are BTC. These all represent the actual ticker for the coin here. Okay, so Dogecoin was at $0, but at one point in time it went up to 50 cents. But interesting is that the person named Keith Johnson, he sued Elon Musk for $258 billion. Okay, the reason was that this coin is not highly regulated in the industry, so influencer can make a influence on prices. Okay, and Elon Musk participated. Everybody knows. So Elon Musk participated. There's a concept called pump and dump. You can actually Google that later. Find yourself there. But yeah, so that's why this explains the highly volatile condition of the market. Okay, so again, crypto is not highly regulated market. So in turn, it brings a lot of positive, negative at the same time here, okay? And I mentioned that disclaimer, we're not here to suggest any, invest any of these coins, anything like that, but it's also highly volatile, okay? So, all right. Now, I want to give you also very bad example, okay? Infamous. This happened, like a few months ago, like several months ago in May. So Terra Luna, if you're paying attention to crypto space, everybody knows about this here, but this is people invested in this probably lost a lot of money, okay? So coin name is Luna Coin, but it's based on Terra Network, and the value, their value was almost $100 at one point, but is less than $1 in less than a month, okay? So in theory, Luna, I'm trying to explain to you why Luna lost value that quickly, okay? So Luna maintained its peg. Peg means a tie, strong tie to US dollars. So that's all their claim that because of US dollars, the strength, they're not going to lose value. And obviously that did not work. And people are wondering why, or one of the main reasons that this coin could not withstand the supply-demand intensity and trend. So they just could not keep up, and along with the other things. So that shows that limitations of crypto market. So like here, step back here, I'm just telling you that I'm here to explain to you the crypto and the blockchain market as is, and good and bad, okay? So I'm just going to show you that, what is really going on in negative side of it too. So if I explain that to you, limitation of crypto market, I told you about high level of volatility and then lack of regulation. So you cannot expect the same level of stock or bonds in crypto, okay? So you can lose money pretty quickly. And then also platform wallet security. Whereas actually, while the blockchain technology is very safe, you have to safeguard your device, meaning your computer or mobile device. If somebody hack in your device or devices, they can empty your wallet, okay? You have to be careful about that. Even exchange, meaning that the company that gets it's a platform that let people buy and sell transactions, they get hacked too. So that happens a lot, okay? So just want to give heads up. And then also entry barrier, another limitation of crypto market, entry barrier is high. You have to know all those stuff. So just average person without knowing knowledge, without going through any little due diligence study themselves, so it's hard to get in, okay? So that's the limitations there. So there's a kind of good and bad on this. Now I'm going to tell you what we are doing, what USACO Group, what my company is doing in crypto and the blockchain space. Actual example over here. So we have invested in, worked with, and also founded. Some of them we founded. I founded as a founder. Some of them I joined as an investor. Some of them I joined as an advisor, advisory board and board member. So I'm going to go over that. Actually, what we're doing. So not just in other words, blockchain is not just a coin. It's just multiple technologies. Now I'll go over some of that here. So Crypto World is one of them, and then Anika Digital Holdings, and then Sahara Street, Native AgTech, and then My Price and WatchSkin and Dawa. There's multiple company names. I'm going to give you a few examples of that. So first of all, Sahara Street. So it's a company that we're building a software platform based on blockchain. Okay, so it's for global commercial real estate transaction, and the transaction and the service examples are we actually let the customers, meaning the buyer and seller of real estate properties, will let them do a transaction on our platform. At the same time, we provide our token so our customers can utilize our services more and better. So if I elaborate just a quick, let's say there's an investor owns a large hotel in, say, Dubai. This is an international platform. So he wants to sell, say, British owner of hotel in Dubai want to sell it to Saudi Arabian investor. Well, they can do the transaction on our platform. If you bought and sold the property, you know how complicated it is, meaning that you have multiple people in the middle, right? You got two brokers on each end, usually buyer and seller, and then you got escrow company, title company, and appraisal company, and then also you keep, depending on the property, commercial property, you got to do environmental. There are multiple layers. I already mentioned a half dozen. There's another half dozen I'm not going to even mention. So as a buyer and seller, you're paying all the expenses. A lot of times it doesn't seem that you're in control over this whole real estate transaction. So we're providing a tool for the customers. You can log in the morning, log in, and get on the dashboard. It will tell you exactly that tomorrow they're going to do a title search, and if something come up, I'm the first one to hear about it. Okay, so just like when you go to Panera Bread Company, if you buy lunch, you know exactly how much it costs, and you know what it tastes like most likely on the menu. So, but in real estate transaction as a package, you don't have that. That is the motivation that we had to start this company. All right, ADHAGE, it's actually Agile Digital Holdings. So our goal in this company is repurposing renewable energy facilities. So we had a coverage on Bloomberg media coverage on this one here, but we're basically, when you say repurposing renewable energy, we are actually turning the we call it brown energy, like a coal burning facility already shut down or to be shut down, the power plants to a more renewable energy or green energy production facility. Okay, so we're working with multiple entities and employing different technologies to do that. So that's one example we're doing. And the crypto world, it's actually a local company based out of St. Charles. Therefore, specializing in crypto mining, trading, education, and actually a physical store in Missouri. I invited the actual founder of Crypto World, Jeff. I don't know if he's there or not. He's here or not. Jeff, you're on the board. You want to say a couple of words? Already, I guess he is not here. So yeah, I'm one of the investors there, so I can't speak for it. But this is a business model. Watch skin. It's actually NFT. Okay, so crypto space has to have an element of NFT. So NFT stands for non-fungible token. So it's based on, a lot of times based on digital artifacts or product that reflect the real world assets such as music, video, and art, games. Okay, but what we are doing in WatchSkin, what we are doing is that we develop NFT based on smartwatch skins. For example, Samsung Galaxy Watch and Apple Watches. So some people go out buy watches as collectible items, right? Same thing. It's a digital skin on your digital watch, but you are the only one you are the only one that owns it. Okay, so it's a watch skin, and there's secondary market there too. Okay, and there's a company called Dawa. This company actually is providing solutions for environmentally friendly. So there are multiple business models, and one of them is they building blockchain based platform for recycles. So in other words, let's say you go to Starbucks to order coffee, they give you disposable, right? And a lot of companies outside of USA, for example, this company is actually founded in Korea, but they visited St. Louis several months ago, and they're actually expanding here in USA right now. But in South Korea, the businesses has to reduce the number of disposable cups and paper cups and containers. So they have solution for it. And so the reusable containers has to be tracked for sanitary and safety and quality control, right? So that platform is based built-in blockchain platform, okay? Because of all the advantage that I mentioned, so that's what they're using. And there's several other business lines, business models, but I'm not gonna spend too much time on that one. If you have any questions, of course, you can reach out to me later. I'll more than happy to discuss with you on these. So next one is Native AgTech. This is a company that actually, it's a software platform company that provides market intelligence and then data research, okay? So we employed a lot of technologies. Okay, so as I mentioned that there's multiple companies that we are working together with them, and then they're all high tech and the blockchain technology. Okay, all right. So this is actually my presentation, and again, my name is Han Ko, President and CEO of USACO Group, an international venture capital company, and here's our email and the contact. Okay, Alrighty, so now I'd like to open this as a open discussion. Any questions? Any comments? Yeah, put your hands up and then we'll discuss. And I'd rather have a little more open discussion than I just do all the talking. So we kind of plan this way. So that's actually what we have right now. So.
Great, thank you, Han, for the presentation. Very informative. A lot of things to know and to take notes. So there was a comment on the chat. I don't know if Paul, if you want to unmute yourself and ask the question.
Oh, yeah, when you were talking about non-fungible, I just didn't understand what that meant.
Oh, okay, non-fungible means that, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to slide here. Give me a second here. Good question, actually. Yeah. So
there it is.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So non-fungible token means that you cannot really change it. Almost like a immutability. Okay. So it's hard. It cannot copy. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example of it. So there's multiple examples out there, but let's say I went to I go to a museum, take a picture of the Mona Lisa, the famous painting, right? So there's actual painting Mona Lisa, but when I take a picture, the picture itself is something I took. So that picture itself is actually authenticated as my own property, right? So that's actually non-fungibility. That's what I meant. Then why people buy it and then invest in it, right? When you buy it, investment, right? Why people buy it? Well, there's the actual Mona Lisa. Why they buy my picture? Well, that's the part of the investment market driven. Okay, so there are multiple examples of it. There is a whole industry and a whole, I guess, market out there. People buying and selling, and so a lot to do with the influence too. Okay, meaning that if some famous celebrity came up with the excuse me. Sorry, clear my throat here. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so if you famous celebrity came up with a specific NFT, it value a lot more because everybody likes him, right? Even though it's a Mona Lisa from a museum, it's not real Mona Lisa, but people pay for it. Okay, so in a nutshell, that's how you can imagine.
So is that something that's very temporary? I mean, in other words, somebody could buy something today and let's just say it's worth $10,000, or at least that's what they say, and somebody bought it for $10,000, but is it going to mean anything in like a year from now?
Very good question. That's what the market will determine, not you or me. So okay. The market decides. As long as people are willing to pay, the money, it will sustain the value, or it will value might appreciate or even depreciate. So yeah, so okay. It's a new technology, a new concept. I'm glad you asked that question. Actually, yeah.
Okay, so, thanks.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you. I think Sonia also had some questions for you, Han.
Okay, sure. Sonia, go ahead.
Yes, hi. There's a couple questions. This is the first time that I am taking anything regarding this subject matter. So from what you were saying, question here is going to be, it seems like all the trading and everything is the responsibility of the individual, and is there financial investors that are fiduciaries for individuals that want to invest in this type of blockchain technology?
Yes, yeah, definitely. You're right. Like, for example, cryptocurrency market, there are two different things, right? So cryptocurrency market and the blockchain, cryptocurrency, blockchain, they're two different things, just like as I explained, right? So in blockchain space, I'm going to go back to slide. Those multiple companies already invest deep into industry right here, like Coinbase. And then Coinbase, I guess, is not a good example because they're actually trading platform. They're making money out of people's trading cryptocurrency. But Citigroup, JP Morgan, they're all already invested in paying attention into the industry because it is they feel that it is the trend in the future. Excuse me. Right. And so when you mentioned fiduciary duty, good question. Crypto market is unlike the stock. It is not highly regulated. That's why I say it's very highly volatile. So this means that there's a lot of scam too. Okay. So for example, I mentioned that blockchain technology is very robust. It's almost impossible to hack, right? But the device security has to be up to individuals. So let's say John Doe, I told you, right? $100 worth of, say, Bitcoin in his wallet. The wallet reside on his mobile phone. Well, somebody won his $100 in criminal way. They'll hack his phone and they'll take $100 worth out of it without his knowledge. Okay, so that happens, right? So of course you can go back and track it who stole it, but it'd be real difficult because blockchain in blockchain and crypto space, there's no central control. Remember I mentioned that the slide earlier, no central control. That's advantage and disadvantage, right? So no central control means that FBI cannot help you, right? No central control, right? FBI or not help you. It's up to you to keep your devices secure and then understand do due diligence ahead of time, and then don't fall into scam, you know, because nobody's going to be able to help you, because also it's a decentralized network, so no one government can dictate do this or not. Okay, you know, we just this week our Fed raised the interest really high, right, based on our current economic trend, right, and the economic only indicators. But what happens is that, let's say hypothetically we don't have U.S. government. What happens to our interest rate? Well, we don't know, right? Right. But the cryptocurrency world, there's no single entity, no government have dictated can say anything. Okay, so this price go, it's all complete market driven. So if somebody feel that, hey, this token or coin is worth $100, people will willing to pay for it. They will willing to pay for it. Okay, and but the drawback is that there's not much regulation in there. So people are there's all bad apples out there, right? So people get victimized by scams, or somebody get hacked, and you know, things like that. And like I told you, like here I'm going to keep going back because visual helps. And going back to slide, we lost money right here. Yeah, Terra Luna is a good example. This example that, you know, a lot of people lost a lot of money because they believed in what Terra Luna can offer, and then it did not work in the way they did. Okay. Well, by the way, the founders of these two companies, they're under investigation right now, government investigation. Like these are, there's not U.S. citizens, so if you lost money in USA, well, there's nothing you can do. But the country that they have reside in, the company stepped in, they're under investigation. Actually, I think he is outside of the country, but the country is extraditing and request extradition of the other country he's in. He's going to get extradited. So in other words, yeah, there is a global effort to weed out the bad, but it is always happening, because if you look at it this way, it's like I said, it's good and bad. Volatility is also good and bad. Regulation, or too regulation, is not good for the market, but too little is also bad. So it's multiple. So these are the examples that individuals choice that, hey, this is for me, or
I
it's not for me.
The system to me seems to be, like you said, very liberal. And I think, I mean, if I'm right from what you're saying, what I can see here is that there could be a lot of opportunity for investors not to report and pay taxes on capital gains or anything of their investments if they were to invest properly. The other question that I wanted to ask you, can you comment? I know that I saw something in the news about a lady that's on the FBI top 10, Ruja.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So actually, I'm going to comment on the first tax you mentioned. Very good topic, actually. Very. You're actually. Well, I give a lot of thoughts on this, right? So for tax purpose, it is required by law to report any capital gains or loss to IRS. Okay. There's a new form out there. When you file taxes, you got to fill out a form at April 14th coming up. But is that how can IRS enforce it? You are correct, unless voluntarily tell them, nobody can tell. But it is nothing different from, let's say, John Doe went out there, buy $1 million worth of gold, and then put in his wallet, put in his safe at home. Unless he voluntarily tell other IRS, the IRS is not going to know, right? The same thing. So in the typical industry, in standard industry, it is works the same way, but you are right because it's the regulation compared to stock. Because a lot of times people comparing cryptocurrency to stock market, you cannot do that because stock market has been evolved in world global economy for many decades, and cryptocurrency, as you know, it's less than a decade, and and also some people say that too much regulation is not good because it grow out of very liberal, like you said, very liberal philosophy. And if you look at the how the block gets validated, right? I mentioned that 51%, right? So let's say there's a 10,000 computers had all voting power, and then a new block created, and then if 49, well, what is it, 499.99 computers said this is valid, and then the rest of it is not valid, it's not valid. Okay, it's a very democratic notion. Okay, so it's so that's why it's transparent, and it's a very secure in technology itself. But again, I'm emphasizing this again because it happened to many people in big companies, small companies, individuals. The device security is actually very vulnerable, because we all know that how cybersecurity is a big topic these days, right? So that portion is very vulnerable. So if you decide to invest or look into more, I would study your device security, and also basically your environmental security. Okay, your computer environment security. Okay, so that's it. So hope that answered the question here. Sorry.
Hey, Han.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. But I was just going to say is that two questions I have, but one of them is that, being in real estate, sometimes people want to pay. I had this happen to me once, probably more in the future, but wanted to pay with Bitcoin. And I just said, no, because the only one.
Okay.
So, but I got a lot of people that constantly are contacting me on Facebook and other places, or emails say, oh, you really need to get into Bitcoin cryptocurrency. It's a thing of the future. But I'm thinking, if the value of it changes every day, what's the point of getting into it?
Right. You good point. Yeah. Yeah. I know you have two questions. So good point. But if you feel that, let's say, I mean, I know Paul because he's good. His investment field is very high professional. So I know him. So I'm going to give this example to Paul. That let's say if I want to sell one of my properties, and he want to pay me Bitcoin, but if I predict the Bitcoin price go up tomorrow, of course I'll love it, right? So it depends on how you feel, how much you feel comfortable, and how you predict it. Okay. So, but if you feel that your price will go down, of course you don't want it, right? It's just like hedging, right? So that's basically what it is. So, yeah. So that's basically what it is. But there is in international global stage, there is a lot of other countries already accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment, not just Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Okay. So for example, I mentioned that I have an office in South Korea, right? And in October 2019, I brought about dozen companies and investors from USA to South Korea to where my office is at, and we stayed at the same hotel. And about block down, there is a cryptocurrency called Blockchain Cafe, and when you walk in, you can pay your coffee or ice cream or whatever using your Bitcoin or Ethereum. This was 2019, like 3 years ago. Yeah, it's already happening at the time in Seoul, South Korea, and still happening. And then and they also now USA is another good example. The crypto world I mentioned. If you are if you want to buy or sell your crypto, you can actually go to one of the stores and use the ATM machine. It's a pretty simple process. You go to KIC, and then do a KIC process, and then you can buy right on the spot, using actually cash. I think there's limitations though, how much you can pay by cash, but they're all possible right now. So it is in a kind of a quietly, but it's global and mainstream the mainstream market. Yep.
So if somebody was going to buy my house and they gave me crypto, Bitcoin, I should say, let's just use the word Bitcoin, I don't even know what it's going to be worth by the time I close. So in other words, they say, hey, they have $200,000 in Bitcoin today, but let's say I'm closing at the end of the month. I don't even know how much that's going to be, but I guess I'll come up with Bitcoin plus whatever is lacking, because the value of the Bitcoin could be 190,000 by the time I close. So they would have to come up with another 10,000 cash, correct?
Right, but then we're correct. Yeah, but then in the escrow, you don't pay entire balance other than earnest money up front, right? So that price concern is it would be a topic at the time of closing. You're right. So you can write a contract. I mean, since knowing Paul, and my proposal is that you can write a contract in there that you have an option to use a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin at the time of closing. So you can see it's going to go up or down, or if both parties agree, they'll do it. I mean, yeah. And then also there are people who are already buying and sell and bought and sold properties, even in the USA, real estate properties using the cryptocurrency, especially like Bitcoin, because they feel comfortable. They want to do that. Both parties, buyer and seller, so they've done it. This was all on the public record. All that. And actually, one of the most expensive properties sold was in Miami, Florida, I think a couple of years ago. So yep. Also on the top of that, in the mainstream market, they have some companies already do a financing against the cryptocurrency asset that the borrower is holding as a collateral. Okay, it is risky because, like you said, the Bitcoin the price go up or down that quick. Well, that is the the agreement between the borrower or lender. So there's a financing quite happening already. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So let's just say I get the Bitcoin, from somebody, and it actually, that's the amount that they give me is 200,000. So do I take that to the bank, or do I have to sell it on some other kind of exchange to be able to get real dollars?
Gotcha. Good question. Yeah. So you are correct. When you, let's say, somebody, your seller, your buyer paid you in, say, Bitcoin, right? Well, what do I do with them? So what will happen is that they'll most likely, depending on range between you, but the most practical example is that they will send it to you through his wallet to your wallet, right? Okay. It's going to be happening probably, when you send it like this, it all happens less than 10 minutes. Okay. And then, but in monetary value, as soon as it hits your wallet, the monetary value can change. It can go up or down, right? So now I want to cash. What I do? Well, I move my, well, let's say you sold your property, say you got paid, say $1 million in Bitcoin, right? You want to cash some of that, and well, you have to move some of your Bitcoin to exchange place. It's just like stock market, and then some people there'll be bidding going on, and there'll be buying and selling going on all the time. Or you can even do individual sale as well. If you know some people that, hey, I want to sell this Bitcoin to you at X amount price. What do you think? You can agree on things. You can sell it just like any other. Just like, if you look at it this way, it's between like a precious, like a gold. It's not. It can gold, but you cannot touch it. Okay, it's a number in your wallet. Okay, so yeah, that's basically.
So it's basically like what you said, like gold, or it could be a share, or it could be stock. You got $200,000 of stock, and it could go up tomorrow, could go down tomorrow. So it's basically that sort of thing. And then you have to find somebody that's going to buy it. Okay, I got it.
Correct. Yeah. And then if I give you one more piece of information on that one, remember there's I mentioned that in the slide, there's a Bitcoin, and then there is a Ethereum, and there's altcoin, right? So I'm going to go back to slide here a second. Here we go. Yeah. So remember here, these are Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoin. So Bitcoin is like gold. Ethereum is like silver. Altcoin is rest. Altcoin means multiple coins, and it consists of multiple coins, right? Dogecoin I mentioned, ADA, all different types. So they're selling, they're buying and selling in the volume, and they're how the shares consist of. So you have multiple options. So in other words, Bitcoin, let's say right now, Bitcoin is $20,000. It's if you feel that, I don't want to go into $20,000, you can actually buy Bitcoin in a small fraction, right? You can buy as little as even 50 cents, I believe. You probably can 0.000001, or share of it, but they will sell it to you. Somebody will sell it to you. And then, but then at the same time, you don't feel that way, you can go to Ethereum, which is less than, right now I think about $1,500 today. You can actually go from there. And then also if altcoins, some altcoins are cheap. I told you less than $1, less than 10 cents, but chance of that going to become successful is, it's up to you to figure out, right? Yeah. So there's multiple options in the crypto industry as an investor. Okay. So I would suggest that people look into it and then have discussion and yeah. So things like that, that'll help. So.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
I have another question, Han.
Yep.
You mentioned that there were some entry barriers. So I was wondering, is there any minimum to start investing in this type of coins?
Actually, good question. Actually, very good question. So there's no minimum amount. Okay, so this is how what one should do. Okay, so when I say entry barrier, meaning that first the understanding of the market and knowledge and what is the risk involved, that's the entry barrier. That's what I meant. Okay, so people who really savvy in stock, that doesn't mean they know what they're doing in crypto. Actually, people rely on stock market. A lot of times make a mistake because the crypto market works a lot different than actual traditional stock market. Okay, so that's entry barrier. So answer to your question, how do I actually invest in? If it, how much is it to cost? Well, you can actually invest in small dollars. So you can just go on exchange and then open an account. They will do you have to send in your KIC, meaning that your actual, the ID card and all that, driver license or things like that. And then you can actually put a small amount of money and then do the research. Okay, which coin is worth for me to invest? Just like you have from a stock from IBM to some junk bond you never heard about. It just make choice, right? Just like that. There's I think about currently there's about 50,000 coins and tokens out there in trading. Some of them probably halted trading. Like XRP, I mentioned, this big company, but because of a lawsuit going on with SEC, a lot of exchanges just don't want to deal with it. They halted the trading. So if you own a XRP, it's really hard to sell because not many exchanges are accepting it. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, so you can just put some money in there and then do that. It's as little as a dollar. I mean, there's like coins that there is less than a 1 cent penny coin, less than a penny coin as well. So you can actually look at that. Yeah. But a lot of times what people do is that they buy these altcoins when it was really cheap. Okay. Let's say, remember I showed you the slide again. I'm going to go back there again. The that value, here we go. The Bitcoin value was a 0 to 60,000 within less than 10-year period, right? So if you bought the Bitcoin, when I say 50 cents, that person is probably retired a long time ago, right? Right? But hey, not everybody can do it. People who bought it $50,000, now they'll be not good position because right now it's about $20,000. So that lost about $40,000 per coin, per Bitcoin, right? So yeah, so that's just like anything else. So that's what it is. So the swing is very volatile. So you have to be careful on what you're getting into. Yeah. But you could buy Bitcoin. People think that, oh, I don't want to spend $20,000. No, you don't have to, because open an account. If you want to do your homework, due diligence, and then invest $50, maybe $10. You can buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. Yeah. There are a lot of strategies, but I'm not here to give you investment strategy here. But there's a lot of people out there doing different techniques and depending on how. But at most, you have to know what you're getting into, and you have to secure your devices so you don't fall into all those scams. Okay, so once you're in there, a lot of people will try to reach out to you that, hey, look, I want to buy your digital assets, and then can you help me? Blah blah blah. I mean, there's a lot of bad apple out there, so you have to be careful with. Okay? So.
Great, thank you.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone else has another comment or question for Han. Okay, well, you have his contact details. I'm also going to be sending an email with the recording where the recording will be posted, and also his contact details if you want to reach out to him with some other questions. So thank you so much, Han, for being with us today, educating us about this important topic, and also for all the attendees to being with us. And I think that's all for today. Enjoy your weekend and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being with HCC again. And thanks so much, everyone, participating. Hope this brings some value. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye.